What is going on? What is going on? Welcome to the DJ show, aka Cleveland Terry Show, aka Tech Thursday, aka I am fighting a cold today. It'll clear up a little bit. I just have to work out. You're the first people I've actually spoke to today, so I got to work out this part of my voice, and then it'll come in. Then we'll be good to go. I'm actually on the tail end of my cold, and I'll have to blow my nose in a minute and all that stuff. I'm actually at the tail end. It was far worse 4 or 5 days ago. Actually, it was far worse 2 days ago. But I'm here now, and I'm glad to help and answer any questions that I can. It's been a very busy month. How you get better quickly? Well, I don't know. I think that, obviously I'm knocking on wood here, but I think once you've kind of like understand your body, you kind of know what it takes to like get over it quicker. So there's a couple of things. See, I have to blow my nose right now. So, you have to watch old videos while I blow my nose and probably make a cup of coffee. You know what? We will do that. So sit tight for 20 seconds here.
This is a journey into sound. This is a journey. This is a journey into sound. Sound.
Sorry about that. I am seriously draining at the moment. But like I was saying before, you kind of know what works and what doesn't. And I'm literally just having my coffee made right now. Just something warm, for my throat. But there's a couple of tricks. Like when I start draining, the draining thing, because you get sick, you drain. It used to end in like sinus infections, or it would just get worse, progressively worse. And then I just started doing this thing where, obviously I take like my Sudafed and stuff like that. But, like before I go to bed, I have some saline solution and I like clean the crap out of my nose. And, when I wake up, I do the same thing. And I don't know. When I started doing that, my sicknesses have lasted far less than they used to. So now I'm just, like I said, I'm just congested. Mixmaster G in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. So we're going to get through this. And again, I might sound this way, but I don't feel this way. I actually feel okay. It's funny though. I look back I look back to some of my older videos and I noticed that I sound like this all the time. So I was just living that unhealthy lifestyle. Like everything, doing a whole bunch of stuff I shouldn't be doing. Let's just put it that way. And I always sounded like this. It's very interesting. And I didn't even realize it until I stopped and started living the clean life. Stop the random things, social smoking, like all that stuff that I was doing. I could hear it. So I don't hear it anymore, except for now. Because I did stop all that unhealthy living. DJ Bobak in the building. Thank you so much, fam. Appreciate that. That is unbelievable. And honestly, thank you so much. It helps towards the show. And like I said, helps hopefully pay for my daughter's bat mitzvah. Hopefully. I say that hopefully because I don't know, man. I don't know. But let's see here. I need to get my coffee. I think it's ready. I will do that right now. And then we'll talk a little bit about this weekend. Okay. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them in the chat right now. I'm going to leave this up so you don't think that it's just going to black. But make sure, throw your questions in, throw the hashtag ask right in front, and then we'll answer those questions and I'll talk about this weekend. All right. See you in a second. Okay. All right. So this is a very good question from DJ ML. And he says, in DJ, do you still feel latency when using stem pads? I remember you mentioning that in a previous stream. Thanks for streaming with the cold. Hope you get better soon. So, yeah, my review is actually coming out next week. It's done. I just have to, not done, but I just wanted to work through a couple of more days because I had stopped for a couple of weeks because of the all the production stuff. So I wanted to make sure I was still saying, they didn't update something that's gonna, I'll say something, they'll be like, no, they fixed that. But I have MacBook M4 Max, like the top of the line, the fastest you can go, the most powerful you can go. I have the Rain Performer that I'm typically using. I've been using the Rain Performer. That's been the only controller that I've been using for the past couple of months. Although I am using a DDJ 1000 this weekend. Anyway. And yes, there is still a slight delay. I would say it's like a half beat. When I hit it, I have to account for that. No more delay in stems. That is not true. That is not true because I just experienced it just this Saturday night. So now there are some things that you can probably do. One thing I did not check as of late was my buffer. Nope, not for you. I just broke down exactly what's happening to me, Mac Joseph. Just broke it down. Just full of hate. But there is a slight. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but I know that when I use Serato, I never feel a delay, ever. Now, is it the end of the world? No. You just have to kind of account for it, and I've gotten better at accounting for it, but it's still there. Now, I can check my audio buffer, which I will do this Saturday, just to see. You can prove it. How can you prove it? And it doesn't matter if you can prove it. If it works for you, sweet. But other people are experiencing a slight delay. It's slight. It is very, very, the delay is faster than it was before. I'll just put it that way. But it's still there. It is still there. Anyway. Adam the DJ is asking me about my overall opinion of isn't it discontinued, the 707M? It's a good controller, but I think it's gone. I think they've stopped making it. So I don't like to really promote things that you can't really get anymore. But when it came out, it was a very good controller. I would say it was ahead of its time. And if it was Pioneer or Rain or Denon, I think it would have had a lot more legs. But it's Roland. So unfortunately, most people aren't even going to take a serious look at it. But it was a very good controller. Very good controller. Okay. Darnell says I use QCKS 118 subwoofers. When do you determine if I should bring two to an event? Is it size of room or amount of people? Okay, so this question comes up a lot, and it's slightly frustrating because I was reading one of the comments from one of my videos. I think it might have been the KC 12 column array video. And the person said, you're saying all this stuff, but not one person has ever mentioned the size of the room compared to the people. So I have a very mixed opinion on this, because I truly believe that both answers are correct and both answers are wrong, because I don't think you can operate them in a silo. Okay, like there's people in this silo that say it's people only. You have to just account for the people in the room, and then there's this side that says no, it's the size of the room. You have to play to the size of the room. I think they're both kind of dumb and both kind of smart. So my opinion is, me personally, I bring speakers for the most part for the amount of people, not for the size of the room, because, and it's very simple. The client is paying for a certain thing. So let's just say there's 60 people in a room and it is a 12 by 15 dance floor, but the room is humongous. Would I bring, or should I bring, a full point source system that can push out sound for 300 people in that room, even though there's only 60 people in the room? To me, that seems dumb. It seems like overkill. So if there are 6 people in the room, I'm focusing on the dance floor, and that dance floor doesn't require, a speaker system for 300 people for a 12 by 15 dance floor. So the logic is, I would rather just have speakers. Let's say it's a big room. I would keep my same, like for that size room, I'd have like my LD28s, okay? And if the room was big and for whatever reason they decided to space out the room and everybody was totally a mile away from one another, which I don't know why they would, but let's just say they did, I would rather bring just some fills and put them on the sides. And just because when the room is big, the most important part is that people can just hear you. They can hear your words. They can hear your speeches. Because a lot of times they put people in the back of the room because they don't want them to have to deal with super loud noises. So I make sure that the microphone and the tops can be heard across the entire room. But the subwoofers to me are really reserved for the dance floor. And I know people will argue with me on this. I don't personally care because I've walked into places where, there was 180 people and I bring a bigger system, but the room is small as hell. And then they're telling me to turn it down the whole day. So I'm more on the side of understand your venue, but I'm more on the side of provide the sound for the people. And make sure there's enough sound, but provide the sound for the people and not the room. But that's just me. That's just me. And I think it looks weird too. I come in here with these humongous speakers and there's like 50 people in a room. Like that's just weird. You know, like I'm feeling real aggressive at that point. Now, most of my speakers have the potential to go higher. So like my 28s, right? If there's 60 people, it's going to be just fine for 60 people. It's going to be fine for up to 130 people. If I needed to stretch it, I can even do 140. So the speakers are going to be fine. I'm not bringing in some trash, just for where it's up to 60 people. You always want to overcompensate. So to each their own. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay. What is the best way to break in a new external subwoofer? Time. That's the only way. Look, there's a certain amount of break-in that's already happening to these speakers. Even when you get them, they're all tested before they go out. So absolutely, they're gonna sound good enough. But they'll tell you that it takes several hours, which translates into a couple of parties before they truly get broken in. But I'm not gonna say it's not like a car. You know what I mean? When you get, I don't know, you get new tires or something. They're like, okay, don't drive too fast for the first 50 miles. Let the tires warm in. But the same thing applies to speakers. You just don't want to push them too hard. But I don't think at this point you need to worry about that. I mean, geez, when I get my speakers, first thing I do is plug them in and turn them up to max. So I'm the wrong person to ask, I guess. Again, this is just a personal opinion. Honestly, I don't personally care that the room is going to sound small. It's a small party. I'm not trying to power bass and highs, just highs to the entire room. Because all you're going to do, in my opinion, all you're going to do is piss people off because it's just too loud for the room. And I'll put it to you this way, okay? Let's just make the argument. There's 50 people in a room. You bring your big ass system because your room is huge. You start playing. They start telling you it's too loud. Turn it down. You turn it down. They tell you to turn it down again. You turn it down again. They tell you, you know what? It's probably best if you just drop the bass. The bass is the problem. Drop the bass, and you drop the bass. Right? You know where you are. You're now sitting at those LD28 G3s that you didn't want to bring because you thought it wasn't going to be enough sound. Just an opinion. Now, you are free to do whatever you want. I've said this before. You are free to do whatever you want. And I'm not even going to pull that whole, bro, I've been doing this for blah, blah, blah. I don't care. That's not It's not for me, you know? What I do works for me and what you do works for you. But I've never had an issue where they're like, it sounds weak in this room because you brought, you know, I don't have any shitty speakers, I guess is what I'm saying. So I never think about, oh my God, I wish I would have brought, because I don't have any shitty speakers. The only time I've ever said that was in the event that I brought like 28s and there was a lot of people and I guess I didn't read the notes properly or whatever. I don't know. That's happened like one time. So again, we're arguing two different things. You know, it is easier to turn down the volume instead of turning it up. You are absolutely correct. Okay. I'm not saying you're not wrong, but I'm just not, I've been doing this long enough to know when somebody's going to tell me to turn it down and when somebody's going to tell me it's too loud. I just had clients yesterday where they were like, and I know the room is a big room, but they flat out said, you know, I got my people there and I mean, we're going to put the grandpa and the grandparents in the back, but you know, I don't want it to be too loud because I want people to be able to talk. Like that's a very common thing, you know? So, so that's why, you know, and again, it is rare. It is very rare for me. And that's why I said both sides are legitimate. Okay. But it is very rare for me that I will have a super small group of people in a horribly large room. It is 1%. You know, out of the 400 plus parties we do every year, it is literally like 5. Most people get the right size room for their party. So I don't even have to think about that, you know, but I also know pretty much every venue that I've ever worked at. I know all the venues in Los Angeles, San Diego, you know, Orange County. I know all the venues. I know the venues in Arizona. I know the venues in Vegas. You know, I know the venues in the Bay Area. So I know what the speakers, I know what the venues require. Okay, let's see here. Mac Joseph asked me, do I still like to DJ? And I would say, yes, I do still like DJing. I feel like you asked that question to try to get under my skin a little bit. So now, if I had 130, 150 people, I know that there is a potential that you know, 130 is going to go up to 160 because sometimes people like to lie to you and tell you, oh, I'm only having 130. Sometimes people treat DJs like they treat the venues or restaurants and they don't want to tell you the real number because they're afraid that you'll like charge them more. Like that's the thing. And I've never personally heard of that, but that's a thing. So, I know when they tell me, you know, if they tell me it's 150 people, it could be 10% up or down what ends up happening coming to the party. 150 people maximum means, you know, typically 135 when the party starts. People can't go, people get sick, transportation, whatever. So many reasons, you know, or they go up a little bit. Do you know amapiano? The log drum is for the subwoofer. Yeah, what's the point though? maybe I'm in a conversation in the wrong place. Yeah, no, I understand. Do I play live? Okay. I don't know if Stream Pain's talking to Mac or if he's talking to me. So I'm going to let it go for a minute. Thanks for doing the show. Always appreciate your taking experience. Oh, my pleasure. Even when I'm sick, it's still my pleasure. Even with my squeaky chair. I found a chair. It's already ordered. Okay. Oh, that's not fair. If you're talking about who plays amapiano, like at their real parties and not like a reggae or, ethnic party or club. Not a lot, but there's some amazing amapiano out there. But yeah, it doesn't work for everybody. And I have to blow my nose again. It's interesting. Amapiano is not taking over, first off. I like it, but it ain't taking over. Let's just be real about this, okay? We don't tell lies here. We don't tell lies. Okay, boiled garlic. I'll try. This is very, very true. This is very, very true. I'm not arguing with you, Mac. I'm not arguing with you. It is not taking over. Okay? It's not an argument. We're only basing information today on facts. And the facts say it's not taking over. It comes and goes. And the problem with amapiano or any genre that's like that, that Afrobeat, reggaeton, the problem is people don't know the difference. So it all gets merged into one thing anyway. You know what I mean? So it's not like amapiano is going to take off because they're just going to roll it in with all the other things. They're going to roll it in with Afrobeats. They're going to roll it in with reggaeton. So it's not going to matter. It's just going to die away. It's still good, but it ain't taking over. I always feel like a poser when I join your lives. I have vintage Pioneer speakers on a hi-fi. Used to have two EVP 15s over those at my peak. Nice. You don't have to feel like a poser. Thanks for hanging out. I just sometimes need to figure out. Sometimes people have conversations, in the chat, and then I pop in. We'll see, Mac. We'll see. You act like Amapiano came out yesterday. It has been out. We don't have to see. It's not taking over. There will be clubs. There will be parties. There will be some DJs that specialize in that. But the reality is, all right. Cultural based music never takes off by itself. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's the same thing that can be said with like this new Mexicana Americana or whatever. It's basically banda, 2.0. But it's just a little more danceable. It's a little more musical. Like it's still got the horns and stuff, but it's big. It ain't taking over. You can have a huge following and still not take over. Just like Amapiano. Huge following, not taking over. So anyway, Okay. Official Rep Rod in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Like trance, yeah. Oompa Loompa music. I love me some. I don't love the old banda. I don't. But I love the new banda, like the La Diablas and what's the other big group? Zavi. What's the other big group? The popular one. I can't think of it right now. Anyway, there's just a lot of groups coming out. A lot of groups. Okay. All right. Biggie Smalls had 2 proms, same night. Borrowed my buddy's Wolf Mix to try out. Hate that piece of shit. Not intuitive, not easy, not wireless, not fun. Tried all night to figure that thing out. Give me my Airstream DMX. Okay, so very good statement here, or opinion. I'm gonna say this. When I first started using the WMX, aka Wolf Mix, I did not like it. I liked a little bit of it, but for the rest, I was like, and you're using Light Rider. You're using Airstream DMX, okay? So you're using their version of Light Rider. I have said this, and I will continue to say this. Light Rider is the best lighting app if you're only using movers. Like if that's your thing. But you also have to deal with the fact that a DJ, their components are typically trash, and then they fall apart during the party. They'll just cut out on you. I've never had a single ADJ DMX, wireless DMX or whatnot that didn't crap out on me on a party. I stopped using Airstream because of that reason. I was like, I'm over this. This is not, I can't count on it. It's not consistent. Okay. Now the WMX requires you to learn it. That's number one. You need to learn the program. You need to learn the hardware, learn how things work. And once you understand the layout, hold on, let me grab one. I got one out here. I'm going through all my old videos today.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, thank you for answering the door. You guys available on July 1st? Yeah, we're available. Do you have a brochure I can take a look at? Here you go. This all looks good. Can you send me out a contract? Here's your contract. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, see here. Just go ahead and sign it and send it in your deposit. Okay. Are you gonna sign it? If you need to take some time, go ahead. Just send it in when you're ready. All right, thank you. Hey, sorry I took a little while, but I'm finally ready to sign the contract. So if you can just send me. Yeah, we are no longer available for that date. You're not available? Sorry. Well, can you recommend another DJ?
Okay, so hold on, I gotta move some stuff around here. I keep my WMX one in a case. Okay. All right, first off, to answer your wireless complaint, they do make these things called, wireless DMX, like so, and they work just fine. And I've never had an issue. These are my Chevets. Love my Chevets. I think these are still the best ones. I did get the Donner ones. I I don't love the Donner ones. They are they're a little finicky. I'm gonna be honest with you. For me, I'll get it to work and it'll be working fine, and then I'll try to change the channel or something. And I hate the fact that like you can't change the channel while it's plugged in. Like you have to take. There's just a lot of work that I did not expect from a wireless DMX in 2025. But I do own them because I have some color key uplights along with my generic overseas color washes and other uplights. So I needed something to be able to control those. Okay. WMX. All right. So let's try to do this. Neuralink in the building. What's going on, fam? All right. Is my camera on over here? Where is my little switch at? I know it's here somewhere. I forget this camera. Oh, there it is. I think. Oh, you're not plugged in. My overhead's not plugged in. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, so we're looking kind of dark though. Okay. All right. So let's turn it on. All right. Yeah, I know it's not available yet, which is why I don't have it on here. Okay, so this, and then this is the new WMX. This is the WMX, I don't know, W1, 2 or A, or I don't know, because it's got the extra USB in here, the actual USB-A, which is allows you to put in like, MIDI controllers and things like that. Okay, so I think one of the biggest issues that people have with this controller is they don't understand the vertical sections here. This throws people, this initial page. But once you understand how it works, it's actually easier, but it can be confusing when you're just looking at it. So like, for instance, as you can see here, I don't know if you can see, let me get a little closer. There are these 4 columns represent 4 different fixture groups. Yes, correct, DJ Mac Attack. 4 different fixture groups, okay? And you can decide whatever group your fixtures will lie in. So I have in here, this is my uplight group. Now you can see in the uplight group, because it's a static light, they don't give you the option for move. So move is gone. You can't activate move even if you wanted to, okay? You can activate color. You can activate the beam effects, which is how the lights change dynamically with the other fixtures, especially if you have them on different channels. And then your color effects, which is how they actually like flow through, okay? Colors meaning the fades, the strobes, all that stuff. Okay, so that is my uplights right here, okay? And then this one right here, it says CL260. This is really my B-toppers that I use just for this one. And a couple other movers that I use sporadically are in this one right here. And then these are my color key movers because I have very specific ones. And then I don't even use the group for here. So I have 3 groups of lights, okay? If I go into like my settings here, you can see the groups that they're in. You see the A, the C, the B, and all my uplights, my Freedom Power hexes, my Mobile Power hex 5s, and which also double as the my overseas lights. They literally are the same settings. That's there. And then the LFS DMX, this is a gobo projector. Okay. Then my Bs, which are only the Selwyn minis, and then the B Topper CLB 260s. This is a fixture, and this is the I use a Selwyn mini, but it's the B Topper. Okay, this is the fixture profile that works for it. Okay, so there's that, and then let's get out of this. Okay, and then obviously, you know, there's your groups right here where you can set it up. So we won't even get into those details. Just trying to break out that way. Okay, then if you move over to your, you can activate them live right here. Okay, and this is whatever the setting is over here. All right, so this part right here is very similar to the light rider. Okay, so if you go to move, you see it's got all your movements, you know, right up here, kind of tells you what it's doing, just like Light Rider does. The difference is that's all Light Rider does. It pretty much only focuses on movements, and then, you know, probably your movements and your beam. That's all Light Rider is. It's just those two things. I mean, color, yes, but everybody's color. So it's really, you know, these three integrated. But what you can't do is you can make scenes, and scenes would be like in your presets, right? You can do a scene in your preset, and that scene will save all of your like, you know, you've created a full light show. You know, your uplights are red, your movers are white, you know, blah blah blah, and then you save that preset right there, and then you can always recall it. Okay, so if you do things, this is the preset you want to use preset. A lot of people don't use presets. A lot of people choose to use live edit and not the preset, and I think that's where people get kind of confused, is on here. Okay, so if you just want to manually do it, you know, you can go into your color effects, and then you can just say, you know, like this is one, this is another. You can just switch them over, right? And then you can affect the speeds, the phase, the size, and then the fade, which is how the colors either cut or they smoothly grade out. Okay, and then the speed is how quickly they change, obviously. So you can do all that manually. All right, but most of the time, usually the defaults, or when you've set it to a certain thing, you're good right there. Okay, then you can go into your move effects. Same thing. You got your speed, your phase, your size, all the same stuff. Okay, so once you understand that, it kind of moves faster. Speed is very important on the WMX, and a lot of times speed changes kind of everything for you. Like if you can just change that, you'll notice a difference in the energy of your party. Okay, then so these are all the kind of set automatic things that you can manually touch, but they are I mean, you can manually touch them, but they're not saved. Obviously, you just keep adjusting. Over here in this box below, these are your overrides. Okay, overrides. So, which means that even though you say you have a color here, and for a lot of people, they don't realize that each column up here represents the activation of that group. So right now I'm in the color effects. This is how you change your colors, okay? Or this is also how you set which colors you want to use that evening. So when your colors are rotating through the colors, I have it right now set to only light up this one, and this one, okay? So right now, the only one that's changing colors is the one I have active, which is my B topper right here, okay? If I click it off, it's not gonna do that. So if you wanna activate all of them, you just turn them all on, and now they'll all run on the same color changing profiles. Got it? Okay, so now let's say you have these all in here, and then you say, you know what? I just need to run amber uplights for around the room while people are eating, okay? Then you would go to your color overrides, and then I would go to my uplights, you know, like so, and then you can literally just change the colors. Done, you know, and then you set that color, it's on. It'll stay on for uplights, this column. It'll stay red until I take off the override. All right. Okay. The same thing with, position. So I would say the most confusing part for a lot of things, for people, and even I did the same thing when I was learning how to use it. I think a lot of people live in like the live edit. Okay. Oh, I need to make my gobo do this. I need to make it do that. And they're in the live edit. But you don't realize that when you're in the live edit, you have to make the changes to be as surface level as possible. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you don't want, unless it's a very specific thing that you need something to do. For instance, I had some gobos shooting on a wall, rotating in prism mode. Okay. So I needed a live edit just for that thing. All right. So that live edit is for that. But for the most part, people use live edit and they're going backwards. You really want to use, not that. You really want to use position more. Okay. And the gobo, I don't really care about, because once I set my gobos, I'm pretty much done. But your live edits should only be, in my opinion, and I can only speak for myself, but for me, in order to get my mind around it, my live edits are only for effects. Okay. Every so often they're for position. As you can see here, this one says color key fixed position. Okay. That means it's gonna sit at a certain point, and I know that's what I use a lot of. So that's what I use. But I have prism. Okay. Which means you turn one gobo into 3. I have a second gobo. So that's the second layer of gobos, because the movers can do 2. So I put that in there when I want to activate that. But if I go into here and let's say I go into here, and one cool thing a lot of people don't realize, these little dots right here represent what's already programmed into that live edit. So if you only want to stay, in a certain thing. So I go to edit. Now, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll come in here and they'll go into like the pan, and then they'll set the pan, and this is your value over here. It's hard to see, but you can set your pan and all that stuff. And then they'll set the pan and not realize they're setting the pan. Like they don't realize that if you turn the knob here, right? No matter, even if you bring it back down to 0, which it says right there, it's still not 0. Okay. So it's not going to move because it's got this on here. Okay. So what you need to do is click on the reset button. So the line goes to this little hash mark, and then it's completely independent. It's not being talked to as far as the pan and the tilt. That's like the number one thing. A lot of people realize, they're like, my mover's not moving. What the hell's going on? It's because you've got this set up. Okay. But the only reason you want to be in here is to affect like the prism, to affect the other, and like, for instance, because there's a second gobo, I have to use the second gobo for that. Most other things like gobo rotation, even focus, depending on the fixture, will work via the front page here. Okay. So that way, and the reason why you want to set your live edits to be just the effects like prism, then gobo, because I could do a prism on this one. I could do a prism and gobo and the secondary gobo all right here. But then it stops me from using other features. So if I got prism mode and all here, and then I go to, my move effects or whatever, or my beam, and I'm trying to change the colors, or I want to override the colors, and you can still override, but I want to change these things or mess with my position, it's not going to work properly because your live edit's overriding your fixed position. Okay. So I keep those off for the most part. Now I have it saved in my preferences so when I start up, these 3 are active. All right. But then I have to remember to turn them off. Okay. So it's more important to do that. So that way, if you just have your effects on there, when I'm going around and I'm changing this and changing my movements and changing my beam effects and all this stuff, it's not taking over. So it's still running properly. The strobe is a godsend. I love the strobe. The blinder, I have my blinder on toggle on, and I can just keep that going, and then I just literally press it to flip it off. Speed, I don't really mess with. Blackout, that's blackout, obviously. I'm still not even sure what the hell this button is and why it needs its own button, but whatever. Besides that, it's pretty easy if you look at it from a column standpoint. The only drawback, live edit and presets in play does not work in tandem. I agree with you on that. But I think they really do want to separate out the way you think about your DMX, you know. So but it's been the WMX1 is a great controller, but it absolutely does require you to learn it. This is not, you know, my DMX or Light Rider where you just press the pretty button and it does what it looks like on the screen. You're not getting away from that. I have not updated the 2.0 because I don't need to run that bleeding edge, and I didn't need it to, you know, I saw some things where people, the Wolf Mix button throws, I thought that's what it did. I'm never using it. My favorite is, see, a lot of people don't realize that, the movers have so many options. I mean, they have a ridiculous amount of options. So my favorite part that people don't realize is the move effects and the beam effects. And this is where your light show really comes into action. All right. So your move effects is literally how the mover moves up, down, left, right, around. And you can see here, this is legitimately up, down. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. This one goes left and right. This one does a full kind of like circle movement. And then the 8-ball kind of does, you know, something like that. And then Genie, the disco guy, and then you can set up like some specifics. But my favorites are if you have them, and this is very important. If you have your movers set to different channels. So you see my spot 50, 52, 69, 122, 137. Okay. If you have your spots, your movers on different channels, then when you come over to the move effects and you do things like this disco one, and then you can change the order by clicking this button, and then it changes the order of how they move. So there's one, you see it starts in the middle and goes on, and then you kind of just keep flipping it through there. I didn't mean flip it. It just keeps moving. So maybe in the first time, the movers all do this together, right? And then when you flip it to order, now the movements go move, 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 move. So you get a nice like sweeping effect depending on the setting. The same thing applies to your beam effects. Now, your color is your color, okay? So right now I have the 3 on there. The fixture will only play these colors, okay? If I go to beam effects and I do the same thing with, for instance, like I click on this guy right here. This guy basically puts the light on the different mover. So it'll flip from one to the next, one to the next, one to the next. The same thing as if you click on the phase and change it into order, then it'll kind of decide how it does it. It's just a really good board. It's a really good board, but you have to learn it. You have to learn it. Wait, hold on. DJ Lopes. Hold on. You said, so you have moved on from Sound Switch given that you have invested in a hard case. Just so we're clear, they both fit in the case. They both fit in the case. So if I want to switch back and forth, I can. The Sound Switch is only a little bigger, but they both will fit in the case. And yes, don't forget to back up to Flash. That is very, very, very true. Very true. DJ Theo in the building. What's going on? So again, I know for a lot of people that that want to just kind of set it and forget it. That's why they use Airstream, My DMX Go, or even they use Sound Switch because you can just set your stuff up and you never have to think about it. With the new auto loops and stuff, which I haven't even messed with, I know they're there, but they have a full on custom auto loops that are going to happen. I haven't tested it. I actually have 2 Wolf mixes, so I technically could update it on one and then see if it works or not. But it's a good board. It's a good board, but you gotta use it. You gotta, like I did before I realized like all the cool things that it can do with like the beam effects and the move effects. I just thought, I'm like, okay, this is just a basic controller. Yeah, okay, I got to handhold it, whatever. You technically don't have to handhold it if you just know. You maybe have to press a button every, I don't know, every minute, maybe 2 minutes, depending on how much you want to do. But the strobe, for me, especially since I've got my lighting where I wanted, I sat down for I had 2 parties. One party, I was rocking all movers, and I had like 6 movers. That's the color key video that I did. And I needed to do very specific things. So at that point, I learned, yes, free updates, no license, Neuralink. So at that point, I learned how to work my movers, and then I learned how to work my live edits. And then I realized that I was over programming my live edit. And it was actually holding me back from doing things that I wanted to do because the live edits were overriding the other things. Like you want you want the WMX1 to operate pretty autonomously without you, only you adding in the very special seasoning. Okay. I know you have to. Yes, if that's your question or statement, DJ Sweetwater, yes, you need to use your live edit for Prism. So you just, like I said, you just go in there, you make one thing for Prism. There is a Prism effect, but I found that, I don't know, movers don't tend to, it is a standalone controller, yes. Movers, I don't know, there's certain things like for certain fixtures that don't operate with like focus, every so often, like there is a focus option, but certain fixtures just don't work properly with it. So I have to go into and set the focus. Do the preset and make it auto. We didn't even get into that. That was my next thing, Tony. But even that, okay. So basically the presets, if you're thinking about like your traditional mover, a preset is a scene. Okay. So I can go into here and I can move sound switch off. So I can go in here and then I can set my presets, but I can also set multiple scenes, in whatever row, up or down, left or right. So let's say this 13 is middle of the dance floor, right? And then I make another one that's right of the dance floor, and I make another one left of the dance floor, and I make another one that's on the ceiling. Okay. So, and then I can keep going through here. If I move down to my play pause right here, I can click and then I can tell it to run the presets down the page, down the column, down the row, random where it jumps all over the place, or play all at the same time. Then you can, one of the things that you can do is this says how long it holds for before it pops off. So there's more work involved, but cancel. We don't want to override preset. No, let's get out of this. Don't want to override. Sorry. Okay. There's a couple other options. I can't remember where it is though. That's how you name it. Color. I can't remember where that is, so we're just going to leave that alone. And you got your multiple pages, a crap ton of multiple pages. Oh, that's right. So I also made one recently where I had a LED DMX gobo, and she wanted the gobo to switch back and forth between two different gobos on the same place. So I came into my presets, and then I made one. You know, I think it was on the other controller, and I made one that had one look with the one gobo, and then I did it on the other one, and then I just literally turned it on, and it just kept rotating back and forth just between the two. So, you know, and it's just as easy as that. If you hit play, and then it'll just start, you know, hopping over to the things. You see, it's moving around right now. And the reason why this one hasn't moved around is because it's the set. See, it's being held for 7 seconds before it gets out. So that's why. These are all 1 second. That's a 7 second. So yeah, see, this says sentence, and then the other one says static sit down. And oh no, I'm sorry. This 13. That 13 was the other one. 7 seconds. So they would go back and forth. So when I didn't have anything else on here, I could do that. Now I'd have to move this one here and have it go stay on the thing. Okay, enough of that. That's a lot of wolf mix. That's a lot of wolf mix. I know to press home to get out of there, but I was trying to stay in there. Okay. Yeah, but it's a good controller. DJ software. Let's see here. I'm sure it's a game changer. I'm just going to wait. My production stuff requires it to be, you know, working the way I know it to work. I can't go in, and then go, oh shit, something's not working. And then I got to figure out how to get to it. That's a nightmare. That's why a lot of, production teams and companies don't update to the newest, coolest thing, because they need to be able to get to the things they need to get to quickly. And if they train people, if they got new people coming in, they need those people to be able to do it too. That's why. Oh, perfect, Scotty. I can't wait for it to come out. I can't wait. But for now, I've gotten to a certain thing. Now, the other one that I still have to mess with is Maestro. But I needed to get this down first. Let's see, where am I at? I really can't do it for like my LED walls and stuff because I need to be able to do real-time action with it. Real-time action. Okay. DJ software color code notes. How visual can music get? VJ software color codes notes. I don't know. VJ's VJ. Wolfmix is great for build-ups in conjunction with the speed. Yeah, especially if you're working with like another DJ, you know, and like there's been several times when, you know, I have the strobe and stuff set, and then when the MC's talking, and then the DJ, you know, throws a little air horns on or whatever, I can throw my strobes on right then and there, and it all just like comes together, you know. Or if I am choosing, you know, Fireball comes on from Pitbull, it's really cool to be able to turn every single fixture in that room red, and now it feels like it's a part of it. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's just cool. It's just cool. I'm sure most of them can do that. But I don't know. This works for me. I like to be able to touch things. But I need to be able to see what they do also, which is why the sound switch, the Control 1 for me never worked just for my workflow. I need to be able to see what things are doing, not just, oh, the button's red. Well, that means that I don't have time to think about that. I just want to see it and tell me what it's doing. Okay. Yeah, agreed. All right. Silhouette dancers. Okay, we've talked about Wolfmix a lot. Yeah, yeah. The W Tools is a great software. It's great software. I was gonna complain about stuff, but no, it's good software. It's good. It's easy. It's easy and it's fast. I like that I don't need a second laptop. That's oh, and then another thing. So that person that was saying no wireless, no battery. Okay, I want you to check something out real quick. So the way I run mine is okay. All right. So the way I run mine is simple. I have Chevy DMX. Okay. All right. This is wireless. I take my wireless, I pop it in. By the way, it does do 2 wireless. So if for instance, you're running like Chevy and maybe a Donner, you can run them separately right on here and they'll control everything perfectly. Okay. Then now, but I'm plugged in. I can't. Yeah, you can. So, this isn't the cord I normally use, but I take my little guy right here. I have this MagSafe battery charger. It's, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 milliamps. It basically will charge an iPhone, like an iPhone, regular iPhone twice. It'll charge iPhone Pro Max like 1.5 times. Okay. Plug it in to the USB. All right. There's a magnet because it's MagSafe. The bottom is metal. I have a shorter cord, but the bottom is metal. See? Doesn't move. But look, now I can walk around the whole place. And if I need to like look at the way the lights are going, I can bring a seat, I can bring a chair out, put it in the middle of the dance floor, and then just program all of my lights. I can walk around everywhere with this. Done. It just sips the battery. So like I plugged this thing in with like 40% on the battery backup. It's ran the whole night. Okay. So it just sips power. Great. Oh, one more thing I will tell you guys to do, and then we'll be done with this. What you should do, go to all of your fixtures. Okay. Go to all your fixtures and then set them to, if disconnected, keep the pattern going. Okay. Like that's key here. Cause I've seen a lot of times where people, they'll run something like this and I don't know, something will happen. The battery will die, the wireless will die or whatever. And then the movers just go off because you didn't set that little thing. It's just every mover has it. It's the what to do in case you lose connection. And I have mine kept to continue whatever you're doing at the time it dies. Okay. Until I get a chance to like bring it back up. That's key. That is key. Okay. All right. Does that grind your gears when DJ set up a bunch of lights and not program them? Yeah. I mean, I only know a few movers that can even do totem mode effectively. So yeah. We also have we have a full ILS truss that we built. FYI. Use the why are people always telling me what to use? I just said that mine work perfectly. Why are you trying to get me to use something else? I didn't say I don't like them. I said my Chevy. I have gone through multiple DMX wireless controllers. I have not found a better one than the Chevy ones. I know it's dumb. I know they're more expensive, but they have been the most consistent ones. I have the Donner ones. I have multiple ones. I keep going back to my Chevys. They're just easier. Anyway. Yeah, exactly. Smart people know. Smart people know. It probably is the same case. I bought it. I bought it for something, and I thought it was a different size, and then it came, and it's like the size for like a gun, it's like a gun case, and it just sat in the office forever. Then I got to WMX, and then when I finally started to really get into it, I was like, huh, I wonder if this will fit, and then I just made it work. So it works. Okay. All right. Are we done with questions? Are we done with questions? We talked a lot about Wolf Mix. You know what? So the visualizer I do want to get. I have not gotten it yet. I don't know. I don't. The problem with Wolf Mix is that you never, like once you know it, like you don't really go, besides W Tools, you don't go check out like, let's see what's going on, what's new with Wolf Mix. If it works, it works. So I want to get the visualizer though. That'll speed up so much more. Anyway, although I think my color key movers have a bug, and for whatever reason, and I have to see if there's a conflict between one of my fixtures, like maybe I put a fixture in that I don't even use anymore, right? But it's still sitting in there somewhere. Because if I'm using my color key movers and I try to change one of them to a DMX channel in the 50s, it crashes. It crashes the fixture. First, I thought it was just a bad fixture, but then I did the same thing to another fixture and it crashed again. So it's something to do with the information that's just going into the controller, the fixture that's causing a problem. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to wait. Anyway. All right, let's see here. Almost 12 o'clock. Yeah. And I do. I mean, as a matter of fact, I did not mean to turn that brighter. Too low. There we go. I'm trying to think where I have that light. I guess it doesn't really matter. But I do want to get the movers. I do want to get the visualizer. That'll help me do a lot more things. All right. Okay. I mean, in reality, the only people I really see programming their lights is like DJ Bar. Rick Webb does. I mean, most of the Pandemic Boys program their lighting. Now, to what degree they program them is different. I know a lot of people just do like surface level programming, but they don't really get into like all the cool things that it can do. So I just want to be that guy. Okay. All right. Angelo says, I'll get back to Angelo. No, my sign's not through Wolf Mix controller. Okay. Where to go? Are you still a fan of the Ref 7? Yes. I'm going to pick mine up in a couple days. It's a great controller. It's a great controller. Just because I use a Performer, because it happens to be in my furniture, not necessarily because it's like the end all. There are some things about the Performer that I love. There's some things about it that I just tolerate. But the same thing can be said with the Ref 7. But the Ref 7's fader is so butter. I miss the Ref 7 fader. In all honesty, the Rain Performer fader I'm sure I can swap it out with like an innofader, but I don't love innofader either. Like I said, everything has their good and their bad. Anyway, okay. After breaking into the DMX space with my lighting, I can't go back to sound activated. I mean, I pick and choose. Like I have some ILS stuff. I have the Command ILS that I use when I bring out my like my gig bar move ILS, or the trusses. It's still not the same. It's not even close to being the same, but it's fine. Yes, I said that earlier, but yes, you are absolutely correct. Okay. Any word on a release date for the Rain 1? Nope. I'm switching from Tractor S4 MK3 to Serato. Good for you. Good for you. I think. I mean, a lot of people swear by Tractor and a lot of people swear by Serato. I use Serato. Serato's a great program that is in very much need of an update. But it's still a good program. It's still my go-to, you know. And it's only because I have one fear. My one fear is that I will be using, because I've been using DJ consistently, okay? But my one fear is I get to a place and DJ hasn't been mapped to it. You get what I'm saying? So what about Rekordbox? It's always the Rekordbox people that always ask me what my opinion is on Rekordbox. It's Rekordbox. It's solid. But it is not my go-to. It is not my go-to. Yeah. So I always get concerned that I'm going to go into a mixer and it's going to be like, oh yeah, this mixer and this doesn't work with that. And now I'm screwed because I've worked out all my sets on DJ. So now I got to go back into Serato. So I build everything from Serato and then send it to DJ. But they're getting better. DJ's getting better. You know, it pretty much works with everything now that's current. But, you know, you might pop into something old and it just doesn't work anymore. Okay. All right. Asked, as a DJ from the late 80s, early 90s, what do you miss from that era or time? I miss how people would be okay if you didn't have a song. What I miss from the 80s and 90s. I miss how people would come to you to hear new stuff. I miss people walking up like, what is this? I've never heard this. I miss being able to drop a new song that literally just dropped. It could have been that day. And it hadn't hit the radio. And people didn't care because they just wanted to experience the new song. That's it. I remember to this day where I was when I heard Method Man, not Method Man, but the song Method Man, when it was, you know, Wu-Tang Clan. I was in a nightclub and strangely, I think it was a day club at that point. And I was in this club and the club was over and the DJ dropped Method Man. And I stopped what I was doing to run over to him like, yo, what is this? He's like, oh, this is Wu-Tang Clan. Changed my life. Changed my life. I miss that. I miss that period. You know, I miss that. I miss watching Yo MTV Raps at my girlfriend's house with one of my dancer friends, because I was a B-boy and everything, with one of my dancer friends, and it's like 12:30 because your MTV Raps will come on late at night, and I'm watching it. And I remember when we were both sitting there when They Want Effects from Das Effects came on. That's another life-changing song. I've never just like, just what is happening right now? You know what I mean? Like, what is happening right now? Anyway, it was a good time. It was a good time when, when people were See, that's the thing about the 90s that people can't take away from. They always want to say, oh, well, there's new genres in every generation and you're just old. That's why you're saying that. No. There was something different about the 90s in the way that music was broken. Because remember, when the 90s were there, hip hop was still hip hop was just then like taking real hold, where it was becoming like the like nationwide, worldwide, was becoming like the popular thing. I mean, back in the 80s, you had your Run DMCs, you had your Beastie Boys, but you didn't have people were operating in a very specific type of sound. And then the 90s came, and there were all these kind of experimental type songs. There was De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, what was the group? The group that made Off and On. Poor Righteous Teachers. Things like that, where there were so many different styles of hip hop that it was like, you're just in there, just enjoying all of this new stuff. And yeah, Young TV Raps honestly helped change that. DJ Premier, Gangstar, Guru, all that stuff. It's My Turn. MC Hammer. People want to talk shit about MC Hammer, but my God, when Leaders of the New School, exactly, Buster's first group. But when MC Hammer came out, it was This Is the News and Ring 'Em. They did not even Super Freak Can't Touch This. No, we're going back before that. Okay, we're going back to his first song that he released, and it was This Is the News, or something news. But he did the beginning of it was Ring 'Em. The Go Hammer, Go. Turn This Mother Out's a great one too. I'm trying to remember. No, it wasn't Turn This Mother Out though. No, it was definitely the first one. It was the news one. The 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That one. But I can't remember the song in the beginning that he did. But my God, I was like, I've never seen this before. And I was a dancer, and that was just a rapper that danced. I didn't even understand what was going on. But people want to hate and clown on him. That man changed everything. That man did something that nobody else was doing. I don't care what anybody says. You can clown him all they want. That man, that's a great man right there. Fushnikins, I mean, don't be reggae and rap in reverse. Like, insane. Anyway. The 90s, man. And there, like I said, it was so different back then. Now you hear music. I mean, why is it that it is 2025 and besides a genre here and there, Lil Uzi type shit, why hasn't music changed since 2000? Like, music has not changed at all since 2000. But it's been 25 years, okay? Let's go back 25 years from 2000 and before. Disco, disco hip hop, 80s punk rock, 80s pop music, 80s rock, hip hop rock, 90s. You had New York style, West Coast style, reggae style, oh, come on, like Ring the Alarm, not a, like so many different styles. Snow, Informer, Dre, I mean, Eminem, Vanilla Ice, like there were so many different styles. The Supercat, exactly. There were so many different styles of music, which is interesting to me because there were so many different styles of music, but from a radio perspective, there were only like 3 stations. I mean, in the 90s, we finally got like The Beat and we always had K-Day, but this is LA stuff right here. But before, everybody listened to the same music. Third Base, Gas Face. Exactly. I said Guru. And Tupac. Look, I get around Tupac over Dear Mama Tupac. J. Rue, the damage to come clean. Boom, boom, boom. Who even thinks of that? Who even thinks of that? You know, Dwick. Dwick is a national treasure. Kid Frost and La Raza. Boom, boom, boom. I used to, oh God, man. Anyway, there was a lot of good groups out there. So, this is what I was about to say. See, Kelly's was, Kels. This is what I'm saying. It was everybody listened to everything. You all listened to Michael McDonald. You all listened to Phil Collins. You were rocking out to Easy Lover, which is a rock song. Phil Collins and the dude from Earth, Wind and Fire. I can't think of his name right now. But we all listened to it. We listened to everything. DJ Lab in the building. What's going on, fam? But now it's all very siloed. It's all very siloed. They want hip hop over here, and they want they want hip hop over here. Then they want like hip hop pop here. Billy Ocean, Seal. What happened to Seal? I mean, from a person that like blew up in the 90s, like people act like he didn't even exist, and the man had more than one hit. I know now he's got I think it was that Sprite commercial or whatever, the Seal. But in general, nobody talks about Seal. Seal was the man at one time. Anyway, he did not drown. Oh, there you go. Oh God, Maxi Priest. He Want to Be Close to You was a great song. Terrence Trent D'Arby. I mean, there was just some PM Dawn. There were just some. I remember Robert the Vicure talking shit about Seal. Wow. Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode was my shit back then. Oh man. Anyway. Walking out the front door. Main Source. Like these are all my childhood. Obviously Milli Vanilli, yes. Yeah, but this is just my childhood stuff. Artists don't make music dance anymore. This is interesting that you would say this, because I think the kids would disagree with you. They'd say, no, they do. But the problem is nobody wants to take chances anymore. That's the problem. Nobody takes chances. If it hasn't been proven. And I think this might have been, it might have been will.i.am's fault. You said play Set Adrift and I Want to Be Close to You. That try that at your next gig. Like that's what people are asking for. I like those two songs. But ain't nobody asking for I Want to Be Close to You on a party. For any of my parties anyway. The great songs though. I did lose my train of thought what I was saying. I forgot what I was talking about. That threw it off. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, Will I Am. Thank you. So, when the Black Eyed Peas came out, they had a completely different sound, right? And then, V squared, got it. And then, Will I Am, who's an amazing producer and he's got amazing, people behind him, decided that instead of trying to create new sound, he would just travel the world and just find the new sound and then just replicate it. So that's why every album, their music is so extremely different. Lords of the Underground was definitely the shit. But I think it kind of, people realized what he was doing. I think a lot of people started kind of being on the bandwagon. So now it's all the same. And look, I remember, I'll tell you this right now. Okay. So, I'm a 90s kid. All right. When I was producing like nonstop, when we were shopping our records around, the biggest complaint that I got, was we need to hear your sound. Okay. I'm like, yeah, it's my sound. No. But like, they're all so different. Every song is so different. We need you to make like this. If this is your hit song, then we need you to make like 10 more versions of this song. And I was like, that's not how I make music. And if I make a song and then I make the exact same song over again and change the words up and the hook up a little bit, I'm not happy about that. I'm going to consider that trash and throw it away. And people kept saying, no. And this was like right around the 2000 mark. Okay. Right around the 2000 mark. I coincidentally enough. And I think that was at the point where they were like trying to get producers to sound the same so they could keep turning out the same stuff. They knew what to expect. They knew what was going to happen. So just keep making that until nobody wants to hear that anymore. And then make another one, make another type of genre, and then do that until nobody wants to hear it anymore and keep going from there. Like that's the issue. And my problem was I couldn't just make the same music over and over again. But now what do we have? We have a producer that might make a good beat and then they'll make 30 more. And then every group, every artist that comes out sounds exactly the same, which makes it disposable because there's nothing new. When I Just Want to Rock came out, it was different. It was very different. Okay. But because people can like make new songs so fast and put them out so fast, you just burn out. I'm surprised Fiend is still getting requested like it is. Anyway. Okay. Like when house became mainstream. Yeah. I agree. Okay. No more yearly releases. I still pull albums. I have several like R&B groups that I still listen to their whole albums, or when I'll pull another one. R&B. I like a lot of alternative R&B. I like that British R&B. I think in general, the British composers just have more soul right now than what we're seeing here. Just in general. So a lot of like my favorite R&B people are white dudes, But they ain't even just like white dudes. It wasn't like Michael McDonald white dude, right? Who still looked like he hung around with some black people. Like the new British people, dude's got like long hair and glasses on, and he looks like he just is always in the library. Like it's just a different world now. Not John B. John B was dope too, though. I'm not mad at John B. Not like Sade. You motherfuckers are old. I'm talking new British. I'm talking new British. Turn on that Apple Music, turn on that Spotify, and click like on some new shit. And then you won't be playing Maxi Priest. Oh man. Hey, well, congratulations, John Rafa. Congratulations. Yeah, there's just so many. I mean, I can't, because I'll just pull people and go from there. But like, one of the dudes I really like is his name is Still Woozy. He actually, if you've listened to I think it's a Haagen-Dazs commercial. No, or Magnum. It's one of the, not the condom, but the ice cream. It's Alan Stone. Alan Stone is definitely, that's who I was describing when I said the long hair and glasses. Alan Stone. But like Still Woozy is one of my favorites. What's another one? Let's see, Jerome Vandal. That's good. This guy, he's from like Canada. On Planets. Who else do I like? I'm looking at my stuff. I like some alternative groups. Half Moon Run. Steve Lacy. I like Steve Lacy. Elliot Moss. I love him. James Bay is dope. Bear Clubs is dope. Who is another one? Who is another? Benny Sings is dope. Jacob Banks. Love me some Caravan Palace. Love me some Labyrinth. I love me some Lido. Marcus D. Arctic Monkeys. Arctic Monkeys is one of my alternative faves. Tame Impala. We'll see how long he lasts. Sam Dew to me, black guy. He actually Son Lux. Love Son Lux. I'm so happy that they're doing soundtracks now and scores, and people are starting to hear their name, because Son Lux is one of my favorite groups, and they're amazing live. I saw Sam Dew when Lil Dragon is great. I saw Sam Dew at their Son Lux concert. He was opening for them. Sam Dew has one of, I think, the greatest mixtapes, R&B mixtapes out. It's like a 10 song, and you literally play it from the beginning all the way through. Girl is still woozy. Oh my God. So I like Sampha. I like Daniel Caesar too. I've been hearing this new guy. New to me. James Blake is always a classic. But it is, who's the new guy? His name is Kevin Ross. I like him a lot too. Full Crate. Radiohead. Yebba is my favorite. Right now, she's kind of my favorite R&B singer right now. Yeah, and she has a song with piano player's name, the jazz piano player who's also great. Robert Glasper. Robert Glasper, who's dope. First album is still unbelievable. But the new album, he has a live album, and Yebba sings on a track on there. It's so dope. It is so dope. Anyway, How about the duo that remade Tom's Diner? I'm thinking Daddy's Little Girl. I mean, but in reality, that beat for Tom's Diner, you know how many times it's been sampled? Cleo Soul. I like Cleo Soul. Sometimes I don't want to hear Cleo Soul, if that makes any sense. But I do like them. Doechii. Okay. I have a mixed opinion about Doechii. I like Doechii. I think she's super talented, but I think she's also like a candle burning at both ends. If anybody destroys Doechii, it's going to be Doechii. So, oh man. Anyway, you guys go back and listen to some people, because I just threw it. And Caravan Palace, love Caravan Palace. Yeah, just a lot. I mean, I find myself, I'm in my gym. What's my gym at right now? Actually, I've been listening to System of a Down so much lately at the gym. It's really been pushing me over the top. Alta's a very good hip hop group. Anyway. Yeah. No, yeah. Like I said, Toxicity is a great album, but like, so is Steal This album. They're all great. I'm telling you, I watched System of a Down, 2 different times in like my young life. First time I was in a rock band, and there was a rock group that we used to play with a lot. Like they would either open or close for us, or vice versa. And my guy's like, "Hey man, I want you to see this Persian Death band." I'm like, "Persian Death? No, it's not really my thing." He's like, No. You gotta see them. And then I went and saw System of a Down. It was I forget. It was Viper Room. I saw them at Viper Room, and they blew my mind. And that same day, after the concert, everybody's leaving. We go outside, and their drummer is getting arrested. I've told the story before, so some of you might know it, some might not. Their drummer was getting arrested. I didn't think anything of it. Okay, drummer was getting arrested. He's a bad apple, right? Fine. 1 month later, 1 month, okay, we are either at the Roxy or the Troubadour. My guy's like, System of a Down is playing again. You want to go? I'm like, hell yeah. Go to the concert. They start performing. They're like, I don't know, 4 or 5 songs in, and they stop. And the first thing that I noticed when I started seeing them, like, who's that Hispanic drummer? Because they were all like Persian, Persian race. And I'm like, who's the Mexican? And he was dope, amazingly good, right? But I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, oh, maybe guy's sick or whatever. 5 songs in, they say we need to make an announcement. We just signed to Rick Rubin, walks out on stage. We just signed to Rick Rubin's label, and our album's coming out literally in like a month. Okay. It was like a month or 2. And they got rid of their drummer. A month before, never have to worry about money again. You do some dumb shit and you get kicked out of the band 1 month before. I want to know where are you now for that guy? 1 month. Let's see. Whiskey. You know, I don't know. I haven't been to whiskey in forever. I don't know. Anyway. All right. A couple more and then I'm out. So what is your go-to track if you're working in a bar or club right now? I don't have a go-to truck because every bar and every club are different, you know? And a go-to truck, is there even such a thing anymore? You know what I mean? Like, because songs are so, excuse me, because songs are so disposable, your go-to track for right now might be completely different 2 weeks from now. Huh. Lucy Pearl's dope. Lucy Pearl, Raphael Sadiq's solo album, still one of my favorites. The way he flipped Dre's beat. Oh, okay, there you go. Probably. All right. I'm gonna do one more nose blow, and then we're gonna take another 5 or 10 minutes, and then get out. All right. I'm fighting a cold. I'm getting over a cold, so I can tell when it's just getting way too much in there. Okay, so is there one more thing I wanted to talk about? Wait, I can't send any audio out for there. How do I want to do this? Maybe I can't. I was going to show you. Last year, I recommended the Tetris movie. Anything you recommend now? Oh, God. That, yeah, I got an ATEM Mini over here. I used to have a Live Pro, but it died on me. So I've been back to the ATEM Mini. And I only use this for, I've gone back to recording dual streams from both my camera and my front camera, my overhead camera and my front camera, because it was taking too much time to edit stuff. So I went back to this, even though it's 1080p. I think they just came out with a 4K one. I think there's a new one. If they did, I might have to buy that one if it is 4K. Okay. What have I seen that I thought was amazing? Well, obviously, if everybody needs to go see Sinners is fantastic. I'm going back to see it again when it shows up in IMAX. Because what came out? The Thunderbolts came out, and then they took up a lot of the IMAX. Thunderbolts, good movie too. Probably the best Marvel movie in a long, long time. Good movie. But yeah, Sinners is a whole different animal. I can't believe with Sinners being what it is, and I'm not giving any spoilers, but they went a good 45 minutes to 1 hour where really nothing was happening. Like the reason that I don't know how many people have seen the commercials or not, but the thing that everybody goes, oh, it's like From Dusk Till Dawn, blah, blah, blah. Like, at least from Dusk Till Dawn, when you watch that one, besides the first, I mean, it kind of starts out violent immediately, you know? And then they're in the motorhome until they get to the titty twister. But that's still like I don't know, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Like there's a full almost hour of just beautiful directing before the shit pops off. Like a literal hour. And I couldn't stop watching every moment of Sinners. It's brilliant. Ryan Coogler is brilliant. And I say Ryan Coogler is brilliant knowing the fact Ryan Coogler is unapologetically black. And I love that for him. Like every time I hear him talk, in the back of my mind, the code switching, this only applies to black people. You know, some of you may not understand this, but the code switching that I assume is going to happen anytime I watch a Ryan Coogler interview doesn't happen. And I feel weird inside, but he is who he is. Like I would love to have been around for his pitch meeting when he was pitching like Black Panther. I would have loved to have been around having that conversation. Because he's so black. He's so black. And I love it. I love it. So Thunderbolts, I don't know if I would say, okay, no. Because I believe that Infinity War is the better of the two movies. Endgame is good. It's great. It's got a great ending and everything. But you're right. I would put that up with Endgame. I wouldn't put it above Infinity War. I wouldn't put it above like Winter Soldier. I wouldn't put it above that. But it's in line. It's in line. I'd put it with like Guardians 2 type stuff. Like it's good. It's a good movie. Andor. So I watched Andor. First season was amazing. Have not seen the second season. I was waiting for all of it to come out before I watched it. And I know they just did the finale. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of, okay, so I guess the point is not Ant-Man 2. Stop. Ant-Man has never made a good film. They're all watchable if you're, 6 years old, but they're never good. They're just fine. I would say this is true. And I think this goes back to what we were talking about. It's just written well. The storyline is it's just a good storyline. They wrote it. They took their time. Yeah, there are some conveniences. It's Marvel. There's going to be some conveniences in Marvel, but I didn't feel like the humor. I'm not going to binge watch it. I like to know. I don't want to wait a whole week to watch another show. Like my wife and I will watch Andor, and we'll watch one or two every single night until we're done. That's how we work. But back to Thunderbolts. There's some conveniences in there, but the humor, I thought the humor was not Thor 3. Okay, where it seemed like all the Marvel movies were going. It was all just like poorly timed comedy. This is not like that. The action scenes are excellent. The actors in it are great. It's their best movie. And I'm hoping to God that Fantastic Four is quality, because I have a feeling that Ironheart may be trash. And I have a feeling that it may be trash because it was done before. Thor Ragnarok was amazing. Because I didn't like the first two. But Thor Ragnarok, I was like, okay, this is the Thor I want to see. And then they killed him in Thor 4. Love and Thunder. So stupid. Such a dumb movie. Thoughts on Superman? Okay, good question. I guess this is where we are today. I have been online and I have been watching all the comments and stuff. everybody hates Superman. They say he looks fake. To say that the CGI looks horrible. I've watched the same previews. I have not felt that. I have full confidence in that director. That director has made so many quirky, bizarre movies, Gunn, that I've just loved. In fact, I don't think there's a James Gunn anything that I have watched where I was like, well, that kind of sucked. All the things he's written, great. All the things he's directed, great. I'm gonna assume that the most important movie of DC, that they wouldn't take their time and actually do something right. I just don't buy it. This Superman actually looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty good. The visuals look good. The action looks good. I like Nicholas Hoult. I think he's a great actor, completely underrated. But it looks good. Looks good. Looks like Superman has some emotion, and people keep comparing him. Look, I liked Henry Cavill. Okay, I did. I thought he was physically and just like visually, he looked like a Superman. Okay, but he wasn't written well. You know, and the snap in Zod's neck, not a good play. Exactly. If you can make Guardians, which has no business being successful, no business whatsoever, you can make Guardians of the Galaxy one of the best movies ever from Marvel. I have faith in you. He even turned Suicide Squad into a much better movie. So, like I said, I have confidence in James Gunn. I don't know why people are acting like this man can't direct. I just don't understand it. But that's just me. Anyway, all right, y'all. We have taken this show everywhere today. I thank you guys for hanging out today. Thank you for the super chat earlier on. I appreciate that, guys. I'm in Arizona on Saturday. I decided not to come in on Friday. I've decided not to go in on Friday, so I'm going in on Saturday morning, and I'm going to do the party, and I'm just going to come home. I have just been gone so much lately, and with all this production stuff, I got 2 LED walls, one on the 24th, one on the 31st. I have 2 big light installs, one on the 25th and one on the 7th. And then I have another LED wall on the 14th. So I'm just busy. So I'm like, I just want to get in and get out. I don't want to sting out because I was going to go see Chris Villa and everything, but like, I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So this is the Capricorn in me. I'm very much an isolated soul. And sometimes I don't want to see or talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just get away, go do the job, come back. You should see me sometimes at NAMM. At NAMM, I ate one day on the steps behind the dome, away from everybody, on the steps, quietly, eating my carne asada fries. Because sometimes I just don't want to deal with people. And that was that day. And that's this weekend. I could have stayed the whole weekend. No. Anyway, but that's just one of the 13 events we have this weekend. I'm only on one, but then I have, we have 3 today. 3 on Friday, 9 on Saturday, and 1 on Sunday. And then we rinse and repeat for the 24th and for the 31st, and obviously the holiday. So I'm busy, but it's all good. I appreciate you guys hanging out today. Hopefully you guys have great parties too. And once I get the video footage up on my next live, we'll throw up the thing I was going to talk about in the first place, but I have no way to get audio, and audio is required. So I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great weekend and have great parties. Peace out.
All right, so let's see what this guy.